In this tutorial, we're going to open a layered template which comes in the form of a .psd file, and we are finally going to begin putting together our digital scrapbook page. The template that I want to use for this page is open down in the project bin at the bottom of your screen. I'm going to double click on it and it will open up. This template is layered, as you can see on the right in the layers palette. Every element has its own layer. Templates generally come with sample embellishments included that serve as placeholders for you to then replace with the elements that you choose to use on your digital scrapbook page. In this case, the designer has included these ribbons and staples that certainly can stand on their own as embellishments. Not all templates include such detailed, high-quality embellishments. Often they will be circles, basic flower shapes, or long strips that are meant to symbolize embellishments such as buttons, flowers, and ribbons. This template also includes a couple of frames along the outside. You can see the white frame of the photos there. And along the inside, there's also an orange frame. There are also places for a title right here, as well as for some journaling in this area. The first thing that I'm going to do is hide a few of the elements that I don't plan to use. We'll do this in the layers palette. As you can see, each of the layers in the palette has a thumbnail beside of it with a picture of the element on that layer. And the designer of this template has also been kind enough to label each element with a description to make things easier to find and distinguish. I want to find the layer that contains the inner orange frame, this frame here, because I don't plan to use it on my page. And so let's see, frame on photos, there it is. And we can hide that element by clicking on the little eyeball image right here. You can see the frame went away. I'll click it and click again so you can see that it has come back, the orange frame there. And when we click it again, where did it go? Frame on photos. It disappears. I'm also going to hide the Remember This title. Let's find it. Remember This title. We're going to hide that. And I'm going to hide the journaling. I'll replace the journaling later with my own journaling. But for now, I'm going to hide it as well. So now we're ready to add some elements to our page. Once the template is down to the elements that I plan to use, then I can begin pulling my photos and other embellishments onto the page. The first thing that I want to pull onto this page is my photos, which I have open in the project bin at the bottom. I'll double click on the image and it opens the photo, and then with the move tool selected, this arrow tool, I will click and drag the image until it is on top of the thumbnail image of the template that I plan to use. And I will let go, and it simply opens the image onto my template. I'll do that with the other photo as well. Another way to place your photos onto your project is to go to File, Place, find the location on your computer where your pictures or elements are, and you can choose them there and then select Place, and it will open them directly onto the project that you are working on. Once your photos are placed, you can resize them using the handles at the corners of the images, just to make them smaller and more manageable to work with. You have to accept the changes that you make by clicking on that green check mark, or cancel the changes that you make by clicking on the red no sign. So I accepted the changes that I made there. I'm going to position the photos over the shapes where I want the photos to be on my page. I want my photos to be over these yellow squares. Now they're smaller than the squares at the moment, but I will resize them. Precise sizing doesn't matter for what we're about to do. I am going to clip these photos to those shapes. And the way I'm going to do that is to find the photos in the layers palette, and they are right here. And you can rename an image in the layers palette by double clicking there on the where this says layer 2, and I can put image 2. Oop. Let's try that again. There we go. And same thing here. Image 1. I don't normally do that, but for the sake of demonstration, I will show you how. I'm going to take this image here and drag it in the layers palette by clicking and dragging until it is just above the layer of the shape that I want it clipped to, which is that top right yellow square. I'm going to do the same thing with the other image and move it until it is just above the layer that has the bottom left photo right there. And then I'm going to hover my mouse on the line in between the photo and the shape that I want it clipped to. I'm going to hold down the Alt key on my keyboard or the Option key on a Mac, and you see that it gives me these interlocking circles. If I click, it will then clip the photo into that shape. You can see I can still move the photo around inside that shape. I can still resize it to the size that I want it to be. But the only part of the photo that is visible is the part that is above the shape that I want it clipped to. So I'm going to resize this. Well, I'm going to clip this other one and then resize it as well. And my photos are ready. So after resizing the images the way that I want them, they're ready to go. And I'm ready to move on to adding pattern paper and other embellishments. And that is what we will cover in our next tutorial.